speaking of Republicans, Senator Lindsey Graham went on Sean Hannity's show last night to, speak about Trump critically, right? I mean, this is a bad thing for the Republican Party to have the frontrunner for the nomination and the former president indicted for the first time in our history on federal counts, dozens of federal counts, because he hoarded documents and refused to return them when asked politely many times by federal authorities. Obviously, I'm kidding. Lindsey Graham did not speak critically of Donald Trump. That's something he used to do. We'll get to that in a second. He went on Sean Hannity's show to sloppily suck up to the guy and wish him a happy birthday instead.
Oh, I agree. And happy birthday, President Trump, because he's watching this show. So I talked to him. Hey, pal. You had dinner with Melania and Ivanka. We got your back. President Trump, we have your back. This is not about you. It's about
embarrassing.
us.
Why is there a live audience?
You could take the Dalai Lama and make him the Republican nominee that try to destroy his life. They hate conservatism. This is a bunch of BS. President Trump, you're going to prevail. You're going to be the Republican nominee, and you're going to be president again. Just hang in there.
The studio audience.
This is a thing that Hannity's been doing. Oh, look at that. He's like, as happy as a clam.
It's like Joel McHale doing like Talk Soup vibes.
Yeah, this is the soup.
I feel like I'm watching The View.
Hannity now does it where he has the live studio audience back, and he also says he also brings out his Hannity Stitch footballs, and he'll throw them into the crowd.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so some crowd work from Sean. Exactly. I mean, he just he does give off like maybe he was a quarterback in high school and no,
there's a famous story about this. Sam can fill us in on, but he was like into golf or some sort of womanly sport, and Roger Ailes said, "Hey, that's soccer. I think it was like you gotta get that out of here."
Oh, that's €2.
Football.
So he's overcompensating by throwing footballs into crowds. Great. That says a lot about Fox's perceptions of masculinity. But the reason I play that is because Lindsey Graham is not the only. I mean, he's known to be the guy that is the most like obsequious, sucking up to whoever the strong man is in the Republican Party at the time, or whoever he's decided he's going to serve. He is a servant in that way. He did that with John McCain, even though they were friends. That was his role in their relationship his entire career. But J.D. Vance, another esteemed Republican senator. This guy was supposed to be a different brand of Republican, but he's really just a crypto-fascist venture capital guy. But he went on Laura Ingram's show, making the senators making the rounds on Fox News last night, and spoke about Trump being federally charged. And he's upset about it as well, not just because he's endorsed Trump for president, but because of this.
It's hugely significant. And this is the argument I make. Look, I've endorsed Donald Trump, but I would make this argument to people who are not going to support Donald Trump. This is really not about who was president. It's about the office of the presidency itself. Do you use that office to harass your political opponents, or do you use that office to enforce the law? What we're seeing here is such selective enforcement that you're absolutely right. It's going to destroy the people's faith in equal administration of the law. If you have Democrats facing one set of principles and Republicans facing the harshest application of the law, then you're going to eliminate people's faith that the law is about what you do and whether you do it the right way and not about politics.
Military? Who's going to sign up for that military?
That's exactly right. What? Why are you going to sign up for a military that is applying justice unequally? Why are you going to send your kids to law school? Why are you going to pay your taxes? The entire foundation of this country is that whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, we all face the same justice system. Joe Biden's Department of Justice is going to war against that principle. They're going to break the country unless we stop it.
JD.
They're going to break the country. I mean,
Who pays taxes?
No one signs up for the military because they...
I think the Department of Justice is fair.
Right. Because, people aren't signing up for the military because they have faith in Merrick Garland or something like that.
Recruits go straight into the recruiting center and like, hey, this Department of Justice is really cooking lately. Where can I go kill people for this country?
Yeah, right. I mean, to be honest, I would say that the American military is somewhat of a consistent through line with our justice system and how we operate as an empire in the world. But okay, so these guys support Donald Trump. They're sticking up for him. But just so everybody understands how craven this is, I will always play this clip of Lindsey Graham in 2016 and then read this quote from J.D. Vance every time they go so hard in support of their buddy Trump. This is who they truly are. They have no principles whatsoever. This was Lindsey Graham in 2016. Play it every time.
Your reaction to hearing what Donald Trump says?
Disgusted. Well, I want to talk to the Trump supporters for a minute. I don't know who you are, and I don't know why you like this guy. I think what you like about him, he appears to be strong when the rest of us are weak. He's a very successful businessman, and he's going to make everything great. He's going to take all the problems of the world and put them in a box and make your life better. That's what he's selling. Here's what you're buying. He's a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot. He doesn't represent my party. He doesn't represent the values that the men and women who wear the uniform are fighting for. I've been in the Air Force for 33 years. I retired this June. He's the ISIL Man of the Year, by the way. He just got back from Iraq a week ago this Monday.
I know, we interviewed you live from there. You were with Senator John McCain, and you were
All right, we got it.
tour.
We got it. But he got xenophobic bigot. And J.D. Vance. This was a screenshot of a private conversation that he had with his roommate in college at Yale, who is now a state senator himself. Chose to put this out publicly. Thank you for the public service, Josh McLaurin. J.D. Vance said this about Donald Trump. But I'm not surprised by Trump's rise, and I think the entire party has only itself to blame. We are, whether we like it or not, the party of lower income, lower education, white people, and I have been saying for a long time that we need to offer those people something, and maybe maybe even expand our appeal to working class black people in the process, or a demagogue would. We are now at that point. Trump is the fruit of the party's collective neglect. I go back and forth between thinking Trump is a cynical asshole like Nixon, who wouldn't be that bad and might even prove useful, or that he's America's Hitler. How's that for discouraging? I would say the most discouraging part is that now, J.D. Vance, you have endorsed that person who you described in that text as potentially America's Hitler. And that Lindsey Graham so easily can now be his biggest cheerleader, because this is an authoritarian party. But it's a hallmark of fascism in this way too. The strong man at the top, and they will sink to they can't sink any lower, honestly, in their backing of this guy.
There's only certain types of energy that they can use to generate people to the polls, and it's not tax cuts.
Yeah.
And there's one other thing. I would encourage Matt Stoller, who recently took the erstwhile elite left-wing critics to task for not updating their priors because J.D. Vance was supposedly helping. What do you say? Implement rail safety rules. And I'll just say there's a story in The Lever yesterday. J.D. Vance quietly helped chemical industry lobbyists weaken his rail safety bills. So I would encourage Matt Stoller to update his priors about left-wing critic priors, because left-wing seems to be right there.
Exactly. Julia Rock on that story. Great story in The Lever. But yeah, there's a good distillation. If you want to send this to your family and friends, this is the GOP. The contrast between those two statements. There's nothing that they won't say cynically to get your vote. There's no principles at play here, except, obviously the rich get richer.